My name is Kate Fritz, and I have the honor of serving as the CEO of the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay. Since 1971, the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay has brought together communities, companies, and conservationists to restore the lands and waters of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. For 50 years, we have served as a backbone organization, creating connections, building partnerships, and bringing diverse voices to the table with shared goals. In the last 5 decades, our 4 program areas have done so much work around the Chesapeake Bay watershed. We have helped plant over 1 million trees, install over $10 million of stormwater management practices in our urban landscapes, we've helped nearly 100 farmers install best practices on their land, and helped train over 700 community scientists to collect local water quality data in their rivers and streams. Beginning with our agriculture team in Pennsylvania, we'll take you on a tour of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. We'll head next to Maryland to talk to our forest team. Then we'll head south to Virginia to talk to our stewardship and engagement team. And we'll end back in Maryland talking with our green infrastructure team on the Chesapeake Bay.
Sustainable Dairy PA is a partnership between the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay, Land O'Lakes, and the Hershey Company, where we are supporting the farmers that supply milk to Hershey with funds and services to install conservation practices that have both a water quality and GHG benefit on their farms.
We always have worked closely with our dairy producers, and they understand the importance of producing a high quality product that is best for the environment. One of the things that's nice about the Sustainable Dairy Partnership is it brings together multi-stakeholders that can invest and help support the dairy producer in doing some of the initiatives that require significant investment to improve the environmental conditions on their dairy farm.
As farmers, we depend on the soil and the water and the animals for producing the food products that feed a hungry world. Caring for them is essential to the future of our business and the generations that come after us.
The partnership with Hershey is amazing because we've got the Alliance, we've got the co-op in Land O'Lakes, and then the company purchasing the product Hershey, all providing resources, time, energy, support, and all putting our heads together to find the best solutions for on the ground.
So Healthy Forests, Healthy Waters was our first reforestation program. It's a Maryland-specific program, and it's collaborative. So we work with Maryland Forest Service and Maryland Forestry Foundation. These projects are specifically for nutrient and sediment reduction, which trees do tremendously. What it is a turnkey reforestation program on private lands. We work with a variety of landowners to reforest their property. Today we're on the campus of West Nottingham Academy, which is a private school in Cecil County, Maryland. They approached us 2 years ago about doing a reforestation project on their campus. They had a lot of fields on this 90-acre campus that were not being used. They simply were being mowed.
The problem was a lot of turf grass that needed to be mowed, and the solution was to plant more trees, put trees in its place, and provide much more natural habitat, and also improve water quality by shading the stream. Things that I was interested in doing was getting the buffer put back around that portion of the stream. If you do a squint filter and decide and look at the green in here and think of that as the green infrastructure, what used to be Penn's Woods, and putting back more of Penn's Woods is a good thing for the watershed and for the environment and the ecosystem.
River Trends is our community-based volunteer water quality monitoring program that the Alliance has been coordinating since 1985. Right now, we have about 115 monitors all over the state of Virginia within the Chesapeake Bay portion of the watershed, and then maybe 20 or so monitors in Maryland as we slowly start to expand up that way. So we have monitors that head out in the field once a month, year-round, to collect water quality samples at areas that we can sort of help
guide them to, but we really want them to pick areas that they feel connected to. So it helps with the longevity of the program and just help them feel connected to their waterway.
It can be very overwhelming to think about all the things that are happening in the world right now. This is something that we can control on an individual level. It makes a pretty big difference. We have a watershed here that if we can focus more on it and do something like monthly water quality testing, or as simple as just picking up trash along a river, it can make a big difference, and we can make an impact.
The data gets pulled together. It's kind of like crowdsourcing, where all the aggregated data gets put together and is ultimately useful to get the big picture about what's happening using actual scientific data, such as pH and oxygen levels and turbidity and things like that. So although it's a small thing, it contributes to a very much more important whole.
The Green Infrastructure Program really focuses on stormwater runoff and erosion control. So we install practices, whether they're small scale like rain gardens and rain barrels to capture stormwater runoff, to large scale projects like living shorelines or stream restorations. A living shoreline really is the connection between land and water, and it helps stabilize the shoreline and capture that stormwater coming off the land causing erosion, and also the erosion caused by wave action from wind, boat traffic.
After a shoreline has been restored or made into a living shoreline, there's a number of different benefits that can occur. One is the accretion of sand. So a lot of the times when a living shoreline is installed, it's because there's been a lot of erosion at that site and a lot of sand being lost into the water. So we really want to try to build up that sand naturally, build up that beach and restore it to what it has been in the past. And you can also create a lot of wildlife habitat with living shorelines as well. So you're creating things like marshes. In certain projects you're creating oyster reefs or a lot of habitat for fish to be, restored and have their populations growing in these kind of projects as well.
So here you're on the lovely main beach of the Cape St. Clair community. This here is our primary beach. It sits on the shores of the Chesapeake Bay, the mouth of the Magothy just here beyond us, and at the mouth of the Little Magothy also. So the shoreline I'm standing on here now has eroded over the years. Dating back to the 40s and early 50s, we're at a point where we had 40 or 50 feet more beach out here. And it has slowly eroded over the years, in particular the last 30 years. And this is why we focused on this project.
With our 4 strategically placed offices and our 4 impactful programs, we are uniquely positioned to offer upstream solutions to downstream problems. We help prevent pollution from where it starts, on the land, upstream, to help build resiliency into our communities and our landscapes to adapt to an ever-changing world. Time is right, the moment is now. The Chesapeake Bay and her tributaries are so important to all of us. Let's continue to work together to make long-term improvements for our forests, for our streams, for our future.